Before anything else, take a deep breath, because hope is rising for you right now. There is a shift in the atmosphere around your life. A divine stirring that signals restoration is already unfolding. You have walked through seasons where you felt unseen, unheard, and unprotected. But heaven has been watching every battle, every tear, every injustice, and every silent war you never spoke of. Psalm 64 and Psalm 35 are not merely scriptures tonight. They are heavenly weapons being placed directly into your hands. You are not stepping into this moment defeated. You are stepping in backed by the God who restores, heals, vindicates, and reveals what the enemy tried to bury in darkness. As you hear this prayer, something begins to realign in the spirit. The confusion that tried to cloud your mind, the heaviness that tried to sit on your shoulders, the unseen attacks that came from places you could not discern. All of it is coming under divine inspection. God is not only healing you, he is restoring the years, the peace, the opportunities, and the honor that was stolen when the enemy thought you were alone. The word of God rises like a shield before you, declaring that no hidden scheme, no whispered curse, no secret meeting in darkness can stand when the light of God exposes every work of evil. And now, as the atmosphere thickens with the presence of God, something powerful happens. The things that were blurred suddenly become clear. The traps you didn't see, God saw. The enemies who smiled in your face, but plotted behind your back, God heard them. The schemes that were launched against your name in secret, God recorded them. Psalm 64 declares that the arrows shot in the dark will backfire. And Psalm 35 declares that those who dig a pit for you will fall into it themselves. Tonight, hope is not weak. It is violent. It rises with authority, declaring that your destiny will not be controlled by hidden enemies or secret weapons. Lean in now. You are not watching this by chance. God is positioning you for a moment of revelation and divine exposure. Everything that was done in silence, every plot that was disguised as friendship, every attack that hid behind a smile, every jealous whisper, every monitoring eye, every spiritual ambush prepared without your knowledge, heaven is unveiling it. There are moments where God fights silently for you, and then there are nights where he exposes every hidden enemy so their influence loses its power. Tonight is that kind of night. What once threatened your future is now being stripped of its ability to harm you. And now, come closer. Feel this moment. Picture the fire of God surrounding you like a blazing shield, bright, fierce, impenetrable. See the light of his presence flooding every shadowy corner where darkness tried to hide. This is not fear. This is authority. This is not intimidation. This is revelation. God is exposing, revealing, and dismantling every dark plot assigned against your destiny. The fire of the Lord is moving, and every hidden enemy, whether spiritual, emotional, relational, or situational, will be revealed, scattered, and rendered powerless. Your restoration has already begun, and heaven is making sure nothing in the dark survives the light over your life. As this moment unfolds, the Spirit of God begins to sweep through the hidden corridors of your life, places you never had access to, conversations you were never present in, intentions you could not discern with your natural eyes. In the same way, Psalm 64 describes arrows shot from secret places. Heaven now shines its piercing light to expose every concealed source of attack. The schemes that once seemed invisible start to surface. Motives become clear. Truth rises like a sunrise, dissolving the night that tried to swallow your destiny. What was hidden is now being revealed, because God refuses to let his chosen ones walk blindly into spiritual traps. You may not have known who was standing against you, but God did. You may not have understood why certain obstacles kept repeating, why certain people shifted suddenly, or why your spirit felt uneasy in moments that didn't make sense. But now, clarity is coming. Divine revelation is cutting through every lie, every manipulation, every mask. This is not exposure meant to hurt you. This is exposure meant to free you. It is God removing the camouflage from the enemy's operations, so you can rise in authority, unshaken and fully awakened to the truth of what has been forming behind the scenes. And now the judgment of Psalm 35 begins to activate like thunder rolling across a battlefield. The enemies who plotted in the shadows begin to scatter. Their alliances become confused. Their plans unravel. The pits they dug are collapsing under their own feet. Their conspiracies lose power as the fire of God sweeps through the spiritual realm. You are not the one being hunted anymore. You are the one being defended. The same God who exposes the plans of darkness also renders them powerless. Every dark plot assigned against you is losing its structure, its strategy, and its spiritual reinforcement. Look closely in the spirit. You are surrounded by heavenly warriors. There are angels positioned at the gates of your destiny, wielding swords of divine light. The fire of the Lord is moving with precision, descending into the hidden places where the enemy thought he could operate undetected. Every monitoring spirit is losing visibility. Every enchantment is losing effect. Every whisper spoken to sabotage your name is being overturned. Every dark altar that carried your identity is catching fire. This is divine intervention at its fullest, swift, sharp, undeniable. And now, as everything concealed begins to break open, you feel something shifting within you. The confusion lifts, the fog evaporates. The spiritual battles that once drained your strength are being exposed for what they truly were. You are not powerless. You are not alone. You are not vulnerable. You are a child of the Most High God. And every hidden enemy, whether in the physical or spiritual world, is being revealed by the fire of God. Nothing done in darkness will survive this light. Every secret weapon formed against you is shattering, and every dark plot is collapsing under the glory that now surrounds your life. As the fire of God intensifies around your life, the spiritual landscape begins to tremble. The traps set in silence, the words spoken behind your back, the strategies crafted in hidden corners. They are now collapsing under divine judgment. Psalm 64 describes the wicked sharpening their tongues like swords and aiming bitter words like arrows. But tonight, those arrows lose their direction. They fall harmlessly at your feet, and the very words spoken against you begin to recoil on the lips that released them. Every scheme, every intention, every crafted plan that rose against your name is meeting a force far greater than its own design, the justice of God. Watch in the spirit. The enemy is scrambling. What was once organized is now disintegrating. What was meant to be a coordinated attack is now turning into confusion. The alliances built against you are breaking apart. The networks of spiritual resistance that work to delay your blessings, drain your energy, or distort your identity are losing their power. The enemy is finding himself trapped in the very snare he prepared for you. Psalm 35 declares that those who plotted your downfall will be turned back in shame. And that is exactly what is unfolding now. Every dark plot is shattering like glass under the weight of God's light. Feel this moment. The fire of the Lord is no longer stationary. It is moving like a tornado, sweeping through every direction of your life. It enters the past where wounds were created. It enters the present where battles still linger. It enters the future where the enemy tried to block your path. Nothing is safe from the reach of God's consuming fire. Not curses, not lies, not manipulation, not spiritual monitoring, not hidden jealousy, not silent competition, not unseen oppression. Everything that was meant to weaken you is breaking. Everything that was meant to trap you is dissolving. Everything that was meant to intimidate you is losing its voice. And now your spirit rises with the force of someone who refuses to be intimidated by darkness anymore. You may have walked through battles that felt too heavy, seasons that felt too long, betrayals that cut too deep. But God is turning every pain into a weapon, every tear into power, every injustice into elevation. You are stepping into a place where darkness no longer has legal grounds to operate around you. The power that once tried to intimidate you is losing its authority. The voices that tried to speak against your progress are fading into silence. The spiritual doors that were blocked are swinging open because heaven is fighting for you. Look again. The fire of God is now standing between you and every future attack. You are being sealed, fortified, surrounded, and elevated. No dark agenda can survive this environment. No hidden enemy can remain concealed. No plot can continue unnoticed. No weapon can operate freely. The exposure that began in part 1 has now turned into destruction. The revealing of the enemy has turned into the downfall of the enemy. Tonight, their plans shatter, their influence breaks, and their schemes dissolve in the fire of the Almighty. You are rising, guarded by light, strengthened by truth, and empowered by divine protection. As the final wave of God's fire sweeps across the spiritual realm, you begin to sense a divine peace emerging from the ashes of every battle you have faced. The chaos is fading. The noise is dissolving. The weight of invisible pressure that sat on your shoulders is being lifted. Where darkness once hovered, light now stands triumphant. The same God who exposed every hidden enemy is now restoring every area of your life that was affected by their plots. You're not merely surviving. God is establishing you, fortifying you, securing you under his unfailing protection. The atmosphere around you is no longer heavy. It is filled with the fragrance of victory. And now heaven begins to rebuild what was damaged. The blessings that were delayed begin to accelerate. Opportunities that were blocked begin to reopen. Strength that was drained begins to refill. Clarity that was clouded returns with precision. This is the aftermath of spiritual victory. Not confusion, not fear, not uncertainty, but divine order. God has cleared the field around you, and now he is rearranging your path for elevation. Psalm 35 declares that God rescues his people from those too strong for them. And tonight, that word has become your reality. You are rising from this moment with renewed fire, renewed identity, and renewed authority. Look around you in the spirit. Every dark network has been dismantled. Every whisper that carried malice has lost its power. Every plan crafted against your peace has been overturned. The fire that exposed the enemy has also purified your environment. It has cut ties with every spiritual assignment that was not from God. It has broken cycles you did not even know existed. It has destroyed the patterns that tried to follow you from season to season. Nothing unclean, nothing manipulative, nothing deceptive, nothing harmful can withstand the atmosphere you now walk in. God has made your surroundings unreachable for darkness, and now your spirit rises into a new level of discernment. The blindfolds are gone. The confusion is gone. The spiritual fog has lifted. Your inner vision becomes sharper. Your intuition becomes stronger. Your steps become guided with precision. You no longer walk uncertain of who is for you and who is against you. God has revealed it. You no longer fear what you cannot see. God has exposed it. You no longer feel threatened by what hides in the shadows. God has burned it. You are stepping into a season where nothing in darkness will ever again have the power to ambush your destiny. God himself walks ahead of you, clearing your path daily. And now, in this final moment, the fire of the Lord seals you. It surrounds your home. It surrounds your identity. It surrounds your name, your hands, your steps, your assignments, your calling. No hidden enemy will rise a second time. No dark plot will regroup. No evil scheme will recover. The cycle is broken, the agenda is destroyed, and the enemy's access is denied. You are walking into restoration, elevation, and divine covering. The victory is not future. It is now. The exposure is not partial. It is complete. And the glory of God rests on you so strongly that no darkness can touch you again. You are covered, protected, lifted, and secured under the fire of the Almighty.